First of all, I'd like to welcome you to video number 1 of this photo editing. Again, we are in Adobe Lightroom Classic. Any other editor will work as well. It just may not be quite as easy to follow along. So what we're going to be learning is how to edit a photo from its very original form straight out of camera to a final desired result. Now what I want to show you here first is to talk about the comparison between a RAW and JPEG format. Now me personally, I shoot everything in RAW format, and what that is, all that means is it's an uncompressed format. So there's no extra sharpening added, there's no contrast, no crazy changes like that, and you're able to manipulate the file to every extremity that you want to do. And I want to show you what I mean about that. So this image here is of a mountaintop, and this is a RAW photo taken straight out of camera. Here's a quick before and after. So this is what it looked like straight out of camera, and here's with some edits. Now this isn't how we want to edit our image, but just for the sake of showing you what a RAW photo can do versus a JPEG is everything. So this is our photo, RAW format with our edits applied. Now this is going to be our JPEG. So this is the same photo here. I just exported it from a RAW to a JPEG. But in the case of your camera compressing this file, it's going to cause it to where you don't have as much editing capabilities. So what I've already done is taken the settings from this edit, the RAW photo, and I've copied those. Now I want to paste those on top of this JPEG file to show you what it's going to do. So let's just go ahead and paste that. Now if you can see here on your screen, this image looks a little bit green. It's very yellow-like, and it doesn't look well. It looks really sickly. Now if we go back to the RAW format, you can see that it looks a lot more neutral. It's more pleasing to look at, and it's a great landscape photo. But now these same effects applied to that JPEG looks really rough. And the reason is because this file has already been compressed, and it's harder to work on it and actually edit it. Now we can move some things around to try to get some of that look back, but it's never going to look as good as your actual RAW photo because you don't have as much control and flexibility over it. Now, if by chance you have shot your images that you're going to be editing in this class in JPEG, that's fine, because this tutorial is going to teach you the basics of photo editing. So we're not going to be doing anything too extreme. Just know that if you are not getting the exact results that you want to get out of your images, that could be part of the reason why, is because there's already these different effects applied to the image that you cannot remove or edit very well. And if you want to see better results, be sure you're shooting in that RAW format. So before we do begin editing our image, I want to do a little bit of housekeeping here in Lightroom, if you're shooting in Lightroom, to give you the best possible editing space that we can. So when you first load up Lightroom, yours is probably going to look something similar to this. You're going to have your top navigation setting up here. You're going to have your side nav bar, which is typically where your presets are going to be housed, as well as your navigator where you can click in on different areas of your image, and then also just your history and things like that. Here at the bottom, you're going to have your timeline, and if you have a ton of images loaded into Lightroom already, you might see more than just 2 down here, and that's okay. So what we want to do, though, to give ourselves more space to edit, to better see what we're doing, here's what we need to do. So you're going to notice that up here there's an arrow at this top navigation area. You just simply want to click that, and it's going to hide that navigation area. If you want to go back to it, you can just hover over or click the arrow again, and it'll bring it right back. So all you're going to do is repeat that for the other 2 areas as well. So the left sidebar navigation, you're going to click that arrow. And then for your timeline here at the bottom, we're also going to click that arrow. Now by default, your toolbar section here already has a kind of a predetermined size to it. So what you can do is if you hover your mouse over, you're going to notice it changes from a pointer to kind of these double arrows facing back and forth. Well, if you click and drag, you can actually pull your toolbar over just slightly, and that's going to help us a lot to more fine-tune the details when we get to those portions of the editing. So I like to go ahead and pull mine over, but you can already see how much more space we have to work with. Now, the last thing that I would like for you to do is, if you do have this gray color around your photographic image, all you have to do is right click in that gray area, and it's going to let you choose other colors to edit on. I personally choose white, and I'll get more into that when we start doing some edits for the highlights and areas like that. But for the time being, just switch that to white and you're good to go. And that's pretty much it for the housekeeping rules. This is going to give you a lot better experience to get that edit down how you want and just kind of move around within Lightroom.